So this dive is the wreck of the Benwood off Key Largo. Um, there's Miami, and here we go, zooming into the wreck site. You can actually see this one from the Google Maps picture. It's right on there. I was pleasantly surprised by that. It's kind of neat. There it is. So this was a freighter that was hauling, I believe it hauled phosphorus rocks, I think I read. And it collided with another boat and sank out here. And what happened was it was 1942, and they thought there was rumors of a U-boat being around. So all the boats were sailing with their lights off, that's my understanding. And these two ships collided, and this freighter, it got a big enough hole in it that it just sank. And so it sank, and then they looked at salvaging it. They couldn't really, so they started stripping it for parts. And then over quite a few years, it got more and more things taken from it. And eventually, the state of Florida created a marine sanctuary called the Pennicamp Park. And then that's when the stripping of this wreck stopped. So when you go diving on this one, it's not really a wreck. Like, you can't penetrate it or go inside anything really. It's sort of more, you can see there's a boat there, but it's often kind of a lot of stuff just laying around in the sand, right? So yeah, it's only in about 25 or 30 feet or 40 feet of water, so it's a really good beginner dive. Yeah, here we are, just jumping into the water. That's a pretty typical tourist dive boat kind of operation. They're good. I like these guys. They do a good job. So there's Amanda jumping in, and yeah, so we're not far from the wreck. So this is sort of just an overview of it. I was just getting a shot of the fish and kind of some of the wreckage on the ground. More fish, more wreckage. I was just sort of swimming along. If you go when there's good weather, not much wind and current, you could snorkel this really nicely, and there'd be lots to see. It'd be fun, actually. It's kind of deep, but if you want to do some free diving, if you're like a beginner free diver, I think it would be fun to go to as well. Yeah, there's the bow with Amanda in it for context. I got a different camera set up, and so now I like hold the camera on this tray, and it's way more steady. This is a spotted porcupine fish. Pardon me, a spotted puffer. There he is in there. These guys, I like these guys. They're pretty laid back. They kind of stay away from you, but they'll let you get a good look. And I'd say he's like this big around, and maybe as long as my arm. Yeah. Just some of the wreckage laying about. There's really a lot of stuff laying around, And usually what I end up doing is swimming around looking under things, because that's when you'll find different things. Like, you might even find nurse sharks underneath some of the stuff. There's Amanda checking it out. Wonder if she saw anything. This wreck, there's often a lot of turtles at it, but I saw turtles at it on a different dive, but I didn't see any turtle. Oh, nothing there. Shucks. Saw turtles on a different dive though. Yeah, so here we are. We're looking underneath, and there's a big school of fish under there. So I've identified 3 species. So the fish with the black bar through the side of his head, that's a pork fish. Then the yellow and kind of light white ones, those are schoolmasters. And then the yellow ones with stripes and black in their tail, those are called blue stripe grunts. And you don't see the blue stripes in them. They have the really light blue striping, and they're quite attractive to look at. My camera didn't pick it up because I ran into some problems with my color. So it's been an ongoing affair trying to learn how to make everything work right. There's always something going wrong. I'm too unstable, or my color is off, or my camera is like adjusting exposure up and down a lot, or changing the color on its own. I've got some footage like that too. One time I had it not set to 4K. I had it on a resolution I didn't like at a high frame rate, and oh man. Here's a bicolored damselfish, and the one to the left is a, what do they call that? Oh, a harlequin bass. Those harlequin basses you can get as pets in fish tanks. You go to the aquarium store and you can own one of those guys in your living room if you want. And then behind him there's a goby fish. I didn't ID that one though. Wait for him to move. He's up to the above the bass right in front of him. There he goes. Yeah. That's the side of the freighter. Yeah, so now we're coming down the other side of the freighter. Yeah, so anyways, long story short, the color profile on this video got messed up, and so I tried to fix it in post with my video editor. God, I've had to learn a lot of video editing stuff. I thought this was going to be so simple, but it's been a learning experience for sure. Anyways, I'm trying to fix the color, and everything was so blue that when I tried to make everything look normal, I lost blue colors because it was making, when you try to take out the blue, you have to like basically adjust the blue, and then sometimes you lose colors. So got that figured out for next time, so this won't happen again. I did record one other dive on this setting. It was really deep and everything was so blue. I'm pretty disappointed, but anyways, yeah. That's a trumpet fish. They're a predator. You see these guys quite a bit. I like them. I like seeing them. They're really laid back. You can swim right up to them, get a nice look at them. There he goes. They like to hide vertically like this, wait for an unsuspecting fish to swim by. So speaking of video editing, wait for this transition. Wait for it, and nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be a rock star video editor someday. There's the bow with bubbles from divers on the other side. Another shot of the bow, taken from a little different time, so the divers are gone. Yeah, the bow from the deck. This is kind of where it looks the most complete, like a boat. So this is a sponge, and I was thinking I was going to identify this sponge, but it turns out sponges different, like the same sponge species can look totally different depending on water flow and depth and just all kinds of things. So we won't ID it. You see it yet? Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Yeah, he blends in pretty good, doesn't he? You know, that's actually the left or the right side of the fish. You see both eyes, but one of the eyes he lays on his side, and one of the eyes migrated around to the other side of his head. Yeah. I don't even know what the other side of him looks like. I've never seen it before. These guys are pretty common. You can often find them just like at the beach. You go wading in the water with some goggles, you might see those. Giant hermit crab. This guy's big. He's like big as my fist. He's in a conch shell. Hermit crabs are they're gentle. They kind of just eat like just stuff on the bottom. They're omnivorous and they eat all sorts of different things. They're pretty friendly. I wouldn't say friendly is the right word, but like I didn't pick this guy up and fool with him or anything. But when I was in the Caribbean, I'd find lots of small ones, and you could just pick them up and put them in your hand, and they'll just walk around on your hand, and they're just totally calm and nice. And I've had a bunch of hermit crabs in fish tanks too in the past. When I was in the Caribbean, I had basically a bucket full of these little hermit crabs. Like I had a air stone and stuff, and there's a small glass box full of hermit crabs. It's pretty good. Yeah, so this is an anchor that, no, apparently it's not with the Benwood. It's an anchor it's older. It's like 1800s, and it got exposed in a storm of some sort, and it just happens to be there apparently, according to someone on a dive boat who told me that. And here we are. So swimming around in a school of fish. They're just eating on some phytoplankton and such. That yellowfish is a yellowtail snapper. Oh, I forgot to ID that blue one. Maybe I'll figure out the name in the in post. And those are barjacks swimming right in front of us. But because my color is off, you don't see the really attractive, subtle blue line down their side. And this is a big school of, I think they're French grunts, I think. But they could be tomates. I'm not sure. There's the barjacks again. Oh, there's a grouper right there. So I was trying to ID him, but my color on my camera is off, so I'm not sure, and I couldn't really get close enough to him, but it's a big grouper. He's probably 3 feet long. I bet he weighed like 30 or 40 pounds. I've heard they taste good. Couple more groupers. Yeah, if you swim calmly, these schooling fish will come right up to you. And if you're free diving and not blowing bubbles from an air tank, they'll swim like right up to your face mask because they're just not paying attention anymore. There we go. That's the end of the dive. So that's a fun dive. It's a really laid back site, great for beginners. Yeah, it was a fun time. If you have any questions or comments or concerns about it, just let me know and I'll try to address that. So yeah, have a nice night.